Guys, what happens when the two giant economies, the United States and Brazil, clash over the politics, trade, and national pride? Well, buckle up because we might be about to find out. In a move that's already shaking up the boardrooms and coffee farms from Rio to New York, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva has fired back at the President Donald Trump's latest trade threat. Trump wants to slap a 50% tariff on Brazilian imports, and Lula says if that happens, he will also hit right back with the same force. So, guys, what does this mean for the everyday people in both the countries? How did we get here, and how could this turn into something much bigger than just tariffs on the steel and coffee? So guys, let's break it all down in this video. So first, here is the backdrop. President Trump has made tariffs one of his favorite political weapons, not just for protecting American industries, but also for sending the messages. But this time, the message isn't about cheap imports or the unfair trade. It's about much deeper. It's about the Brazil's internal politics. Trump recently demanded that Brazil drop its legal case against Jair Bolsonaro, the far-right former president accused of trying to overturn the 2022 elections. Why Trump did this? Trump called Bolsonaro highly respected and warned that unless Lula's government backs off and takes this case back, Brazilian exports will get hit with a 50% tax starting 1st August. At first, Lula thought the letter was fake, but it wasn't. So now he is pushing back hard. Lula made it clear in a fairy statement that Brazil is not a vassal state. He reminded the world that Brazil is one of the largest economies on earth with deep ties to dozens of nations, and it won't be bullied into dropping a court case for the sake of pleasing the Washington. So, guys, what is the exact narrative of this? And this is where it gets complicated because the US actually runs a trade surplus with Brazil. In simple terms, America sells more to Brazil than it buys. So, if Brazil retaliates with its own 50% tariffs, American exports stands to lose just as much if not more. So, guys, think about it. Brazil is the world's biggest exporter of coffee. It also sells steel, aircraft parts, beef, ethanol, oil, and lot of goods that end up on American shelves and in the American factories. So, a tariff war means the prices could shoot up for the American businesses and also on the consumer's pocket. That morning coffee, it will just got more expensive. That construction project using the Brazilian steel also costlier. So guys, but it's not just about the price tags, it's about the politics. By using tariffs to interfere in another country's justice system, the US is pushing the new boundaries. Trade experts are already calling this unprecedented move. Georgetown professor Mark Bush said this isn't like the past trade wars over cheap steel or cars. It's a direct political leverage. If this escalates, other countries may see it as a green light to weaponize trade deals over the domestic politics too. And there is more fuel to this fire. How Brazil just hosted the BRICS summit. If you haven't heard of the BRICS, it's a powerful club of the emerging economies that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, plus new members like the Egypt and Indonesia. These countries have one thing in common. They don't want to be told what to do by Washington. Also, Lula's comment on this was, "We don't want an emperor. We are sovereign nations." It wasn't just for Trump. It was a signal to the whole global south, that is, stand your ground. So, guys, what could happen next and where we are? In the short term, we could see tariffs come into force by August 1st, and the fallout will be fast. Brazilian exporters would scramble to find the other buyers for steel and oil. US importers would pay more, which means you and I pay more. Also, inflation, already a headache for the Federal Reserve, could get an extra push, especially for food products like the coffee and beef. So, guys, then there is the political fallout as well. Lula's popularity in Brazil partly depends on protecting Brazilian industry and farmers. If he folds now, he looks weak. But if he hits back too hard, he risks damaging Brazil's biggest trading relationship in the Americas. His finance minister is already trying to cool things down with USA, talking about diplomacy, but as we have seen before, once tariffs are threatened, they are hard to walk back without a deal that saves face for both the sides. Also, there is a geopolitical risk. This spat could push Brazil closer to China and Russia, who are also eager to draw countries away from American influence. China already buys a huge chunk of Brazil's soybeans, meat, and minerals. If US markets becomes less attractive, Beijing is more than happy to step in and make a deal with Brazil. And finally, there is us, the regular people. For American consumers, this means higher prices and fewer choices on some goods. For Brazilian citizens, it could mean lost jobs and shrinking farm profits if exports drop and the economy slows down. So, guys, here is the big question. Is this just Trump being Trump bluffing to make headlines and pressure Lula over Bolsonaro case? Or is this start of a deeper fracture in the US? Brazil ties, a battle that could ripple across supply chains, global trade deals, and even your morning cup of coffee. One thing is for sure, in this globalized world, a tariff is never just a number or paper. It's a domino that can knock down economies, raise prices, and reshape the alliances. So, guys, finally, what do you think on this? Should countries use trade as a weapon to meddle in another nation's politics? Or is Lula right to stand his ground and defend Brazilia's sovereignty at any cost? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know, where do you stand? And if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn off the notifications so you never miss such deep dives. And I will see you guys in the next video.